Courtney.
I'm Dara.
And this is Next Big Thing with Courtney and Dara. Yay! We back, son. We back. I see a lot of familiar faces in the audience from our SF Sketchfest performance.
Thank you all so much for coming back and for coming out to new faces. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we were loud and clear. Cool.
Can you? Should I? There we go.
Yes. Okay, well, we have a really fun show for you guys today. First, let's, thank our social media manager, Maya, who's in the house.
Maya, come on over and say hi to the people.
She, too, is back from SF Sketchfest.
Yes.
Hi, people.
Hey.
I'm Maya.
Thank you, Maya, for that lovely introduction of yourself and all the wonderful information that you dispense. Maya is going to be tweeting and socializing for us throughout the night using the hashtag NBT the show. Yes. So we're going to be asking for some suggestions when we get to tea time a little bit later. So if you want to give those, I mean, you might can yell out because not a whole lot of us here, but you can also tweet.
Yeah, that's a good, clean way to do that, too. Yeah. You just yell it out. We're not
bougie.
We're not too bougie. Why was that so funny? Are we bougie or something? Okay, glad we're all on an honesty kick here tonight.
Right.
That's what good.
Glad y'all are real comfortable calling us out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
That's
you
what
for
the
that.
internet is great for. So let's just dive right in.
We're gonna dive into some
current events.
Topics of the day.
Again.
Because we're trying to keep this light, and everything happening in the world right now is so light.
Yeah, there's barely any news to talk about.
Nothing going on.
There's no news.
It makes it really hard for us.
But on Monday, something did happen. Well, we found out about something that happened on Monday. Somebody bit Beyonce, y'all. We had to talk about it. Yeah.
I don't understand how we ended up in this parallel timeline where this is a thing that we're talking about. Who would ever fix their mouth to bite Beyonce? Why would you do such a thing? Why is that a thing that you?
I thought you were gonna say the news cycle, because that morning I was up tweeting, doing my work, and I made a joke on our Twitter I'd love to see this buddy comedy Tiffany Haddish and Beyonce taking Hollywood. And hours later, it was viral. It was a witch hunt, truly, in the classic form of the word.
No, because a witch hunt means that you didn't actually do that thing. We are looking for a culprit. Witches were falsely persecuted. This is a damn biter we got.
Yes.
And they need to be brought to justice.
So we're going to do that here today on Next Big Thing. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I already have the Google up, y'all, so here we are. Let's just walk through who was accused of biting Beyonce.
Who are the suspects?
And if you guys have any information that you have and would like to come forward with during this show, we will respect your anonymity and just talk to us.
Yeah.
We're here to help. We want to solve this too. So it started with names like Jennifer Lawrence, right? But it looks...
Which you're I hope it is Jennifer Lawrence, because I don't like her that much anyway, so it's not like I'm losing.
Why don't people like
something.
her? What?
Right?
She gave us such feel-good hits as Hunger Games and... No, that one movie where she was playing that woman and she triumphed. Joyce or Joy? There we go, Joyce.
Who is Joyce?
I thought we liked
also, that's
Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go literally to Google Images. Also, Christy Teigen has information that she just needs to come on with. She's got the loudest mouth on Twitter, and this she won't share. I think that's rude. But the most likely culprit I'm finding, we just got dark in here. Sanaa Lathan, it seems all.
See, and I don't want that.
Nobody wants it.
I need her.
Here we are. Look at her.
These graphics are so trash.
This is page 6. This is page stage 6. This may as well, this is better than our highest court at this point. I believe this more than I believe anything coming out of the White House. Sorry about our president, folks. If you're watching, I have it in every language, including sign. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
I'm not sorry.
It's because that's not your president.
I'm not sorry because I did my part.
I didn't vote for him.
And so did my people.
I barely voted for Hillary. It was just the only option left. We digress. I'm sorry.
We digress.
I did believe of all the names that I heard Jennifer Lawrence, Scarlett Johansson, essentially. Yeah, like it was at a party.
I believe Scarlett Johansson would bite somebody.
On drugs, I think she would. So we have context clues.
I think we would all bite someone on drugs if we're being honest with ourselves. I personally wouldn't know about drugs.
My mom just got
But
here.
from what I have seen on television, it makes you do some things.
We're gonna read Tiffany Haddish's quote, and that'll help us really get down to this. Okay, let's just go straight to the source because it was for Glamour magazine. NDAs are real, so I'm not saying shit about nothing. Okay, girl. I'm pretty sure this falls out of the lines.
Can you do her voice?
Oh my God.
Do a reading. Do a real reading.
This is so exciting. I want to get back into acting, so this is experiencing a moment.
Hype her up. We're going to do this.
Okay. Wait, where is the exact quote? Glamour, don't play with me. Where does she say the exact quote? Or she opened up about this party back in February.
Oh, no. And I hate that dress that Beyonce is wearing in that picture. Just FYI, it looks
Here
like a disease.
And this is the picture from the party. I forget what party it was exactly, but they were out
birthday,
there.
Perhaps?
Sure. Okay, so then she says, okay, I'm ready.
Already accurate.
I got the part. Okay. That's the type of stuff that's like good acting though. Okay, and then she buried her face in my wig. We took this picture and I was like, is my wig slipping? And she was like, But she knew who I was. And she came up and she was like, I think you are so funny, Tiffany Haddish. I was like, what? You know me? And she said, I'm Beyonce. I was like, I know. So, okay, so then, wait, I'm still missing
you guys, you're like witnessing art right now.
This is a cold
amazing.
reading. Revealed more details of, is she still talking? Beyonce is gonna X her out pretty soon. Sorry, Glamour magazine ads. Sorry, ads. This is why millennials don't like ads. Okay, here we go. Let's back up. Told a tale. Okay, so what had happened was something had went down with somebody at the party, right? And I'm not at liberty to say what went down at the party, but Beyonce was just telling me to have a good time, and I was like, no, I'm gonna end up fighting this bitch, and she was like, no, Tiffany, and I said, I'm only gonna have fun if you take a selfie with me. And
that's how the selfie happened.
Wait, here are the details. There was this actress, I'm sorry, I could just go on.
But I feel like you have.
And was like, Jay-Z, come here, this bitch. Okay, so we have context clues. She told Jay-Z, Beyonce told Jay-Z, this woman bit me. But Beyonce felt so powerless, there was nothing else she could have done, because it sounds like the woman stayed at the party. So that tells me she's a powerful, powerful person in Hollywood.
Well, I was going to say maybe Beyonce's just not petty, but we all know that's not true.
That's not true. Her facial expressions give her away every time. I was going to say something else. I'll leave it.
Yeah, just before she comes for us.
So that's
if we bit Beyonce at a party, y'all would hear about it. She does not care about little Courtney or little Dara.
I feel like she tasted like caramel. It was fabulous.
It's ridiculous.
But
it's cocoa butter, obviously.
Obviously, coconut oil. But that's what led me to believe that it is, in fact, Sanaa Lathan, because she is Stan Lathan's daughter. So he's the man behind, I don't even, so many songs. What is it like? Who? What did he do? When I think of Stan Lathan,
y'all didn't realize you were going to get this investigation in real time.
Okay, so he's like the executive producer. Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia. He's the executive producer for The Real Husbands of
doing?
Hollywood.
What are we
No,
doing? What are
he's
we
like a
doing?
music mogul is essentially like the summary. So Beyonce cannot come up against a music mogul who's been in the game way longer than she has, which she's been in since she was 2. And her daughter's just off limits. His daughter's off limits. So I do believe it to be Sanaa
But why
Lathan.
do you think Sanaa Lathan is doing drugs?
I don't want to believe that. I don't want that part to be true. I'm just
Is she
narrowing.
loving basketball? Come on, y'all.
People make
We gotta save love and basketball. We're losing so many things. So many men out here. Like, I
Okay.
just found out I can't even watch Ren and Stimpy anymore because that guy was like dating
touching
teenage
boys.
girls.
That's just bad. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'm losing my whole childhood. Like, leave Sanaa alone, please.
Yeah, this is like a perfect segue actually into our next topic. Oh God.
Keeping it light.
Trying to keep it light. We're gonna try to make this funny. And it's gonna be really inappropriate. Okay, let's go. R. Kelly. Ooh, I know, I just got it too. I know. It's so bad. So he's back in the news because for a couple reasons. He's now again being accused of
The same shit he's been being accused of forever.
training young black women to be his sex slave pets. Slaves pets. It's all bad, you guys. It's just bad. It's happening in Atlanta. But some artists are, trying to take a stand at least and get other people to do the right thing, which is drop R. Kelly from his label. BuzzFeed went in and asked 43 of R. Kelly's former collaborators if they'd work with him again, and everyone's reps declined to comment. 43.
43.
Yeah. Which isn't surprising. I mean, Hollywood is known to protect its pedophiles, and it protected its sexual harassers for decades, and here we are with the Me Too movement.
To be fair to you got that backward scroll. I hate this. To be fair to... Sorry.
Y'all are nerds if you got that, by the way. You're nerds. Nerd alert.
Proudly. To be fair to Chance, he did tweet something later to say that he was against it.
What did he tweet? Because I couldn't find it. It was real.
It was pretty
sus.
weak. It was just like, that's not right.
Oh, it was...
Solid.
We're supposed to lift him up as it's just all bad, you guys.
It's bad.
Hasn't
this been hilarious? No, the real deal is he was on the front cover of Age Ain't Nothing But a Number when Aaliyah was 15.
I'm so disturbed by that.
So we've been
entire
knowing
story.
he's wrong forever. And Chocolate Factory bangs, but we just gotta let that go.
We have to let it go, which brings us back to we have to let some things go, unfortunately, in the Hollywood specter. Because who makes it is super sus. Every time a Weinstein Company film comes up, I'm just like, I can't. I did start watching A Different World on Friday night. It's really good. So to make
A Different World, which is we're not all black in here, which is a spinoff from The Cosby Show. I'm trying to bring everybody along. I don't want anybody to be confused.
Come on down.
It's a spinoff from The Cosby Show.
And Bill Cosby too is a predator.
Yeah.
Which brings me
which I feel like we all know.
Yeah.
So we don't have to explain that part.
We talked about it in our first episode of Next Big Thing Ever. Dara and I had an infamous debate in which I said we should preserve the legacy of Mr. Cosby because what his shows did for us as black people in terms of giving us visibility in a world that's not drugs and all sadness. But here today, I'd like to say that I was wrong. We shouldn't. It's awful. He's terrible. My Amazon clicks are currently going to him, and I'm not proud of that, but here we are. So, Dara, you were right. No, you were.
I'm sorry, I'm just sitting in it for a second.
Just let her sit in this.
That
episode premiered 2 years ago, so this is
it's a long time coming.
sheer
And I love hearing that I'm right, no matter the context.
Dara was right. So we can get a clean cut.
Thanks everybody for coming out. That's what this night has been about. This has been Next Big Thing with Courtney and Dara. Good night.
That's like a series. That's literally the series finale. Dara was right. All right. So
I think it's time.
I think it's time, you guys.
So we're also interviewing a few guests that we're really excited about.
very excited.
And now that we have talked about sexual assault, let's bring them on out.
Sexual assault's hilarious. Oh my God. All right, so our first guest we're gonna bring out is Ashleigh Reddy. I'm convinced that she's a socialite, like literally just the classic form of it. She officially goes by the title photographer and entrepreneur, but I'm gonna let her tell us and you all more about what she does.
Come on out, Ashleigh. Yay! Y'all can do better than that.
Yeah, come on. Yeah!
Thank you.
Cannons to the left of them, cannons to the right. Come on in. You made it here tonight. Are you not entertained? I'm sorry, I'm like going in.
I let her do that line reading, and it's all over now.
It brought me out. That's how you know. Hey, Ashleigh.
Hi, girl.
How are you feeling? How are you?
I'm feeling good.
You want to get in on that mic a little bit?
You want me to swallow the mic?
Just get in there.
We were having issues earlier.
You and the
Is
mic?
this better?
Can
Is
you
this
guys
better?
hear her
Was
okay?
it not good to you?
Okay. I'll try to sit very close.
Get intimate with the microphone and the audience. Hello, everyone.
Oh, so.
So why don't we, just to kick off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Courtney mentioned you are everywhere.
She's a socialite.
She's a socialite. She knows everybody in the audience, probably.
I can't see anyone. So.
No.
A lot of bright lights.
More importantly, they know you. That's
Fair
a
enough.
socialite.
Fair enough. We've got the social handles for everybody up there if you want to take a look.
Please
Because I see
follow.
people have their phones out anyway, so you might as well.
I love it. Oh my God.
You might as well be looking up Ashleigh. Her Instagram is real poppin'.
Oh my
We
God.
poppin'. I will
regular.
do this all day.
What do you want to know?
Oh my gosh, where?
You're from San Francisco?
Yeah.
I'm not from San Francisco. That is false. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Woo!
I might be the first person you've ever met from Las Vegas. I know.
Oh.
It's okay. But I've been here a long time.
How
I've been here 15 and a half years.
Whoa, that's
It's like a
dope.
quinceañera.
So you've seen a lot of changes happening in the city.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. How do you feel about those changes?
I know, right?
I have mixed feelings, obviously. Being a person of color in San Francisco is really challenging, and it's becoming more and more disparate as far as, like, our community and, like, white people in tech, basically. So there's been a lot of brown and black people pushed out of San Francisco, which is really unfortunate. When I moved here, and when I came to college here, it was, I wouldn't say it was like a tons more diverse, but it was definitely more diverse than it is now. And yeah, just with a lot of the policies happening here, it's sad. It's sad. I'm still here.
What's kept you here?
A lot of my work is here, so I shoot a lot. So because I know a lot of people from shooting a lot of events, so I shoot a lot of corporate events. So I'll see people around town.
I've definitely seen you at a few events when I was still working at Google.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, there she is. So a lot of my work is here. I do think it's important for us who are here to stay here. I'm not just going to be like, well, I'm going to leave because I don't see me. I do see us out here. We're just not all like in one neighborhood. But there'll be surprising amounts of people here. Like our fellow guest is, hey girl. She lives
spoiling
here.
the surprise.
We're here.
We keep her to the side.
So yeah, there's a lot of things I like. I like the restaurants. I like the bars sometimes. I like Dolores Park.
Yeah, Dolo.
Yeah, but I think because I've planted roots here, I don't know. It's like my home now.
It's so lovely.
So lovely.
So you are a photographer and you run your business yourself. So tell us about your journey to entrepreneurship.
So I've been doing photography professionally for 11 years, but full-time for about 5 years. And after college, I worked at nonprofits, and I never went the corporate route, which I don't know if that's like a plus or a minus, because I feel like there are a lot of valuable things you learn in corporate America, but I worked in nonprofits, which are a different environment. And I was shooting at night, so I was shooting in nightclubs. That's how I got my start.
That's where I met you.
Is it? Like
at Mezzanine, it was the Stevie Wonder policy.
Oh, wow.
You were
That's
running
crazy.
the photo booth with the pink backdrop, and I was like, who is that? She's really pretty. She should be my friend.
You're so funny. Okay, that's cute. Yeah, I used to shoot parties, and then I segued into 7x7, if you guys are familiar.
Yes.
When it was in print.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, RIP. It's still around digitally, but from there I just started meeting people who worked in corporate America, and I got hired for like corporate jobs, and now it's kind of transitioned to like between corporate and tech, so that's why I've been at Google. They're a big client of mine, and yeah, when I was transitioning full time into photography, it was a struggle in the beginning. It's a challenge to just be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. So I was started freelancing at MAC doing makeup. So I had a lot of experience in that, and then I finally ended that in like 2013. That's when I went balls to the wall.
I didn't know you did makeup too, but that makes perfect sense.
Because look at your beautiful face.
Oh, you guys.
Literally. So obsessed.
Yeah. So entrepreneurship's been a journey.
That's
So what made you finally make the decision to go over to full-time?
Well, Mac was kind of like eating my soul away. Even though I was just freelancing and doing part-time, it was still retail, it was still corporate. I guess that was like the most corporate type of job I've ever had, and it just, I had worked there since 2007. As freelancers, there were no raises, and they didn't care, and we didn't have any benefits. We didn't even have a discount. So I was like, why am I doing this?
That is appalling. Sorry, I'm popping my peas.
I'm sorry. I don't
know,
understand.
we didn't even get a discount. So
The crowd's like murmur, 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 murmur. Peas and carrots, peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
Discount.
It wasn't fulfilling. It transitioned a lot when Estee Lauder, am I saying a lot? When Estee Lauder bought MAC, it transitioned into a lot more corporate, and there was less focus on the artistic part of makeup, and it was more like, you need to make these sales. And I'm like, I'm not even full time. Like,
Ooh. Yeah.
Wait, I don't need to do anything.
I don't have to make your numbers for you. So it was just a lot. I was just tired of people telling me what to do, and so and my. And so my freelance business was picking up, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. I mean, it was hard. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of like, shit, like, what am I doing? Like, only having one sole source of income was really scary. Mm-hmm. So.
Tears? Why tears?
Because I didn't know if I was gonna make it, if I was gonna have to move back to Vegas, or was I gonna stay in one of the most expensive cities in the country on a freelance salary or whatever.
Wow.
So.
I very much admire your confidence. Courtney and I we're moonlighting doing this, and I work for a tiny little startup now.
You can see where I work right here. This is my loaner laptop.
But you're doing it. You're out here doing it.
We trying.
Yeah,
Trying
but
to lose laptops.
trying to make, I feel like the two of us and.
There's no try. You're doing it.
Oh no, we're trying to do it more. We're here, we're doing it right now.
Doing it more. Okay.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That's the result of the trying. That's how we got here.
Well, it's like that phrase, like, people say, like, you're making it, like,
yeah.
It's such a literal phrase. I don't think people even understand. Anyone who's made it literally rolled up their sleeves and made that. Like, Issa Rae made her show on YouTube. Like, Ryan Coogler made a lot of films, and then he made Fruitvale Station, and then he's now... How much money has Black Panther made? Are we watching it like 15 times right now? Like, let's take it to the 2 billion mark. Why not? Why not? Yeah, so that's dope that you're doing it
Yeah.
and making it. I stalk your Instagram incessantly, so it's a fabulous search. I really do recommend that you follow her.
Social media is a lot of smoke and mirrors, girl.
It's all smoke and mirrors. What? Let's talk about it. I just started working in social media for Adobe Spark. You can follow that account as well.
Yay,
It's fun. Yeah, it's a really fun product. My teammate Amy, who recruited me, is sitting right there. Woohoo! I know. But yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's quite grueling work actually, because you have to keep up with the internet.
Yeah, you have to keep it curated.
Honey.
Keep it curated.
Keep it cute, keep it curated.
Yeah, curate it.
What are some of your social media secrets? Like, how can we get on your level?
Social media
I mean,
People want to know.
people, yeah.
I don't
Not
think
like us. We're not asking you this for personal gain, but like
asking for a friend?
for yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something's right. You can't see them, but they're back there.
Invisible friend.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing for me is to be authentic, to remain authentic, no matter what. Like, if there's a brand I don't like, I'm not going to work with them. And I'm not going to do it for the dollar. Like, I've turned down brands, and I'm like, damn, should I have turned that down? But I think it comes out if you're not being authentic. If you're, like, obviously you don't care about fit tea, but you're like, you know, like, don't do that. Don't do that. So I would say be authentic to yourself, be authentic to your audience, respond when people comment on your posts. I see so many people that I'm like, I know you're not so busy, you can't, because now you can like posts on Instagram. You're not so busy where you can just click a little heart. Like that really, that
That's
makes
the
people
bare
feel
minimum.
good. Yeah, at minimum, or at least like acknowledge the audience that got you to where you are.
Yeah.
Because without them, you wouldn't be anyone.
You know, people don't do that. I went on a rant on Twitter about this myself, actually. It's social media. So, like, you need to be social.
Yeah.
And usually, if you're kind of weirdly social in real life, it comes off on the internet. It's not.
Oh.
Dara.
Except if you're Dara, it works perfectly. Dara's like a Twitter maven.
Yeah, but I'm not a social person in real life.
I don't know.
That's when you become a Twitter maven by staying on your
Like
couch a
introvert,
lot.
extrovert.
I feel like, I don't know, I've been working with you for like 3 years now. So like something you do works.
It's my
right?
brain.
I know, this is the Dara show. This is next week
Dara's
with
just
Courtney
a great
and Dara.
person.
She is.
Oh my God, stop, please. Oh, this
It
is
comes
awful.
off
her.
on social media as well. I think a lot of people connect to your message. I'd like to interview you, Dara. I'm just kidding.
What is going on? This is not what I wanted. What I was trying to say
Those are your
was
tips.
we were talking about this, that there was a study that came out a couple of months ago that was talking about how social media can impact your emotions, positively and negatively. Like the things that, like Twitter, where there tends to be more interaction, can make you feel better because it does replicate that real social interaction, but just scrolling through people's Instagrams makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Because it's all like, I'm in Bali, I'm in Dubai, you're at home. And it's like,
Smoke and mirrors. too.
That was my
That
best
doesn't
friend's
make-
favorite place to go when she was living over in Singapore. And she was always in Bali. Her Instagram is great, by the way.
it doesn't make me feel good.
No.
But your posts make me feel great.
Aw, thanks.
They're really
I
wonderful.
appreciate that.
Well, we're going to invite on our next guest. And
Yes,
stay.
but you stay.
Yeah, you stay.
Okay.
This is Tonight Show. you
Stay.
guys. We're just all here tonight
We
together.
don't mean to be commanding you, but please stay still.
I won't move for the rest of the show.
So I have to go. This is sorry. All right, so our next guest is Carla Lee. She is an incredible person, comedian, writer, producer, and I'm just going to bring her out on stage too so she can tell you the rest. Everyone, Carla Lee.
Hi, Carla.
Is there a rest?
Is there a rest?
Is
Yeah.
there a rest to me?
Yeah, we met during Sketchfest.
Mom.
Again, through social media stalking.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, guys. Hi. Oh, hey. Oh, I see. Okay.
Her mom's in the audience too, you
Yeah,
guys.
my
That's
mom's
Nancy.
Here too.
So cute.
Yay
Say
for
hi to Carla's
moms.
mom.
Actually, our moms are sitting in the
Nan's
same
in the
row right
pants.
See
there.
anything.
My mom is sitting in Philadelphia,
No!
just in case anybody wondered.
Fun.
So, It's not like she doesn't love
Courtney's mom
me.
is fabulous.
She's just on the other
I
side
have
of
a
the country.
story about my mom and Ashleigh.
I want to hear it.
So Ashleigh,
She's a fabulous. Where's
she's
she at?
right there. You guys can go to brunch together and not invite me again. That's
Well,
fine.
she was brunching when I saw her.
Listen.
Y'all.
Ashleigh pinged me, Facebooked me on a Sunday morning, like, "Are you at Kaya? Like, your mom is here with her fabulous friends. Are you
She was
coming
having
to
a girls' brunch.
She was having a girls' brunch with her friend from Paris. Yeah, my mom's fabulous. When people ask me about her, I'm like, she's doing great. Like, don't
was
worry
doing
about Dr.
wonderfully.
Thomas. Dr. Mrs. Thomas is doing just fine. And then Ashleigh sent me a photo of my mom brunching.
Yeah.
And I was
Brunching
just
so hard.
Yeah, and I'm just like sitting in bed, like, no, Ashleigh, I'm not coming to brunch. No one invited me to brunch. So you enjoy your time with my mom. They ended up meeting. I told my mom, well, Ashleigh's gonna come and be on a show, like our guest. And she's like, oh my gosh, she's so special. I met her. I remember her. I was like, I'm not even invited to any of this right now. You guys are the worst. But yeah, that happened. She's sitting there nodding, like, yeah.
She looks really
My
proud
mom
right now.
is way cooler than me. Like, anytime I think, like, I'm popping and, like, I finally figured it out, my mom comes home with, like, a dope haircut and, like,
Yes.
some wearable art. And I'm like,
Like,
So, Carla, tell us about your dope haircut and wearable art.
this
jacket is
I've got mom
poppin'.
goals now. I hope my daughter talks about me like that.
Oh, your daughter's so
She
cute.
you know, she's like, she already knows I'm trash. Like, she's 4.5. She's 4.5, and I was like, I'm leaving. Mommy's going to do a show, and she was like, bye. She was doing like flashcards with my husband. I was like, you don't need me.
Sending you major shade.
Yeah, she's 4.5-year-old shade is real, man. It's so
Ooh.
real. It's so real.
Those are the best and worst threads on Twitter. It's just about all
Yeah.
the shady things that children have said to
Oh my
parents.
God.
That's like 65 to 75% of my social media presence.
It's fantastic, actually. It's fantastic.
So,
I
yeah.
think we could all commiserate.
She drags me like,
On a regular.
yeah, like a dozen times a day or more.
And it's probably really funny and true and like.
Damn,
Yeah.
Courtney?
No, it is true. It's all true. It's all true.
I haven't met her daughter, so I don't know exactly what's been said. But she's been,
Go through the archives. I mean, pour yourself a drink and just settle in. Settle in.
So,
yeah. You go.
Carla, tell us more about Nice Tan Comedy, how it came to be,
Yeah.
what it is, what y'all doing.
Sure. So my background is in sketch and improv. And growing up, I was just a weird kid and, you know, watched a lot of that stuff, watched a lot of SNL and SCTV and whatever I was allowed to watch, and was super into it, but nobody ever looked like me. So, you know, I grew up and became a weird adult and was like, you know, I want to make a show that I would want to watch, and that, you know, if there was a young weird child out there that like me, like they would have something to look up to. So what we're trying to do with Nice Tan is launch the first mainstream women of color, LGBTQIA of color led sketch comedy series about
and tell us where the name came from.
I'll get there.
Ashleigh better interview these guests.
There are many stories. But so what we sort of pitch it as is the first women of color LGBTQIA-led sketch series about life in a world that's not as woke as it thinks it is.
AKA
I mean, we're
San
all
Francisco.
in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
We know how it goes. And I want it set in the Bay Area. And I think to me, like to your point earlier about do you want to stay, do you want to leave, what do you do? Especially if you're an African American person living in San Francisco. I don't know, part of me feels like I just want to preserve something about life in this city that's not like white tech bros, because I feel like we've had some shows come out about the Bay Area and like that's who these shows are about. And there's so much about the Bay that's important, and there's so much about the Bay that's hilarious, and there's so much about the Bay, like people look to the Bay Area as this progressive mecca and really hold it up as sort of an example. But we're just as like trash as everyone else.
Absolutely.
I mean, right? And there's so many ridiculous things going on. And also to just give people of color a chance to play the characters that we always get to see everybody else play. Like, everyone else looks like they're having a good time, and we're like giving heavy advice. You know, I don't know, whatever. Like, we want to have fun and like.
No, girl, the monologue I'm known for in New York is A Teenage Girl's Guide to Surviving Sex Slavery. Just light, humored.
We have that character too.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
powerful how you silenced everyone. Whoa.
No, it's
Awkward silences are my specialty.
yeah. I love them too. Believe me, I live in them. I thrive in them. But yeah, so there's a lot of things we want to do with it. We want it to be a really rich and complex and engaging and important and hilarious show. And we want to be in charge of it and make sure that our stories and perspectives and characters are being represented. That brings me to the story of why it's called Nice Tan.
Go ahead, girl.
So I'm originally from the south side of Chicago.
Okay, Chicago's in the house.
Definitely, always, always. And I moved here about 20 years ago, totally dating myself, but moved here about 20 years ago.
The black don't cry.
And my... True.
Even when you said you had a 4.5-year-old, I was like,
yeah. Well,
where?
I evicted her a while ago, but so and I'm a mixed black woman. So my mom is white and my dad is black. And so growing up in Chicago, it was always, what are you or what are you mixed with? Mm-hmm. And in San Francisco, it's Nice Tan, you know? And I'm like,
oh
what?
my word. Oh my goodness.
Nice Tan. And I mean, it happens all the time. That's my mom. So, I mean, she was with me. Oh God, I have stories for days. But anyway, so one story in particular. So I actually, before I got back into acting full time,
Come on,
thanks.
supporting the arts. Natasha.
I did my time in corporate America, and I was working at a tech company that will remain nameless. But you know, I was one of about 1 or 2% of black women working in this massive company. So I was, often the only one, as you are, and I was in the fancy corporate gym locker room, naked. Except for one of those little washcloth sized shit towels they give you. And all of a sudden I'm like getting ready to go into my locker and I hear Nice Tan. And I'm just like, it's like the voice of God or something. I'm like I don't, and I'm like kind of, okay, that can't possibly be Nice Tan. And I'm sort of, what? And I look over and there's this woman literally as close to me as Ashleigh is right now. I'm naked.
That's way too close in the locker room.
And she's just like, where did you get your tan? And it's one of those moments that I have replayed in my mind like thousands of times. Like that night I was just laying awake in bed, like rocking, like what could I have said? And it's like an eternity that spans like generations of time. And I'm looking around and all these women, now all these white women are like looking at us. And I'm like, my parents? Mm-hmm. And I see this other white woman like make eye contact with her and give her the like abort.
My gosh.
And she just looks at me and she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And just like runs away. I never saw her again. So it's like that experience of like your blackness not even being in somebody's consideration set, like not like, why would there even be a black woman in this locker room? Like that can't exist. So, like not being seen for who you are and you walking the world being like, I'm who I am. And then all these other people having a different experience of you. Like that's why I was like, this is so rich for material, and that's just how I've walked the world for 37 years, and we got to do a show about identity. Mm-hmm. So
I'm so glad you're doing it.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Is that the experience that propelled you out of Tech?
No.
Were you like,
What happened?
Having a child propelled me out
oh,
of
really?
tech. Yeah, I mean, I was commuting a ton and traveling a lot, and I was just like, I want to know my kid. And one thing that tech, allows you to do is like have a good maternity leave and take some time and think. I mean, that's something that we like is really hard to have in America. So I was like, I should take advantage of that, really figure out what I want to do. And so I decided to be with my daughter full time. And then a year and a half in, I was like, fuck that. And I was like, but I'm not going back to tech. Like, what makes me feel really passionate and engaged and whole and like activated? And I was like, I've always wanted to do comedy. Like, comedic acting is what I love. And so I just kind of eased into it, started doing like improv again, and then auditioned for Killing My Lobster, which is an amazing sketch comedy group here in San Francisco. Come see a show. And they're doing really awesome things, and like they're just really spearheading a lot of diversity and inclusion stuff with their casting and their writers pool and stuff like that, which is great. That's what happens when you put women in charge sometimes. So
I mean, that's
really
what
cool.
happens.
But so I started doing that, and all the while I was like trying to get Nice Tan off the ground and just writing and like meeting people and saying like, hey, you want to partner on this? And kind of getting it going.
So what are you allowed to talk about? Because I know what's happening with Nice Tan, but can you tell our audience?
Friend-DA.
Are you NDA'd?
No, well,
Break
we're
the
under
NDA.
Friend-DA.
I'm just kidding.
No, I can talk about it a little bit. Yeah.
That's cute.
So we have been out pitching it for distribution. So we were working on that a year ago right now, and so we did not get distribution. We came close a couple of times, which is really exciting. But so I'm kind of learning how all of the whole like Hollywood pitching thing works.
Can you say who was helping you pitch?
Yeah. So we were partnered with a production partner called Port LA. They're based here in San Francisco and also in Los Angeles. We've done some work with Hoo Ha Ha, also down in LA. That's Elizabeth Banks's.
ACT alum. I went to ACT.
Yeah.
I was fishing. Thank you.
Yeah. And now I found a great manager, and I'm working with her, and we're gonna go give it a second round. So I think people. This time last year, I think people were like saying they were really eager for something like that. But now I think like people have some fires lit under their asses about stuff like this and content like this. So I'm really hopeful that we can find somebody to partner with and like bring it out into the world. And if we don't, I will figure out a way to do it.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my second child.
Yes, it is. It is a child. Yeah. So you guys are filming coming up?
We're working on it. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens with this round of conversations. But we've already, you can check us out on social media. We've got, we filmed one full-length sketch, and it's called Blackish Blackfish, which when you watch the sketch, you will understand why. And then we filmed like a trailer, like kind of a sizzle reel with a bunch of different scenes from stuff we had written. That's really fun. And then we kind of extended some of those scenes. And so we've got them all out on a Vimeo channel. And then we did a fun parody of that awful Dove ad with the T-shirt.
Yes.
And we did a Sketchfest show here at Pianofight. We did our first live show in January, which was really fun.
Yeah, right
and
here
so
in
we
this
post
room.
clips from that up as well.
Great.
So
We are very excited to see what's coming.
I'm excited to do it.
I think it is now time for us to transition into our final segment.
It is.
Oop.
It's time for
Tea
Tea
time. Yay! Nobody knows what it means. So you guys are like, okay.
So tea time is the time where we discuss things. We play games. And for this particular tea time, we're going to be doing story time.
Yes. So if you were present or
Yeah, she gets it. She gets it. She knows what's coming.
if you were present for our January show, or if you took a chance and saw that online, you will see we did a similar thing there. So we're going to be getting some topics, and each of us will do like a 2 to 5 minute story based on the topic. We don't know what the topics are.
We have not been prepped.
We have not been prepped, so we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, as they say.
And the new tagline for next big thing is nothing is off limits. So whatever you guys want to talk about today, whatever you want to hear us talk about, go for it. Don't
I
be
was
shy.
not consulted about that, and I'm super nervous.
We all picked up our drinks at once. We were like, well, going in.
All right.
So Maya,
And you guys can just shout it out too.
Just
if you wanna
shouting
be
out?
classless about it.
Popcorn style.
just took a big old swallow of olive. Right
You want
before
to be
you go.
classless about this and just shout it out.
No. Maya, do you want to get us started with something from you?
And it's any one of us, the four of us, that has it that matches maybe 2 words.
Yeah.
Name 2
Just
words.
2 words, and then we will put together a story from real life.
Yeah, one of the 4 of us will tell a story that we have about something like that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Dark chocolate. And somebody said dating.
Dark chocolate.
So let's call it dating
I
and
didn't
dark
wanna talk
chocolate.
about this today, but I have a story. It's
Courtney is ready. All right, let me just make sure
I
we're
like
looking
knew
at time.
this was coming, by the way. So I'm thoroughly embarrassed as I tell this entire story, but I'm going to keep it organic and honest, as Ashleigh, the socialite, has just told us to do. Okay, so dark chocolate and dating. So here's a quick, easy one. I love dark chocolate men to date. Except, and here's the funniest part, they don't love me.
Well, it bees like that sometimes.
It's honestly my fault. Honestly, you shouldn't have that much sympathy for me. Dara has no sympathy for me. I talked to her about these things. You literally, as you walked in today, I was like, Dara, this happened today. You were like, I'm sorry, but I think this, and I don't think that it was, I think this is best.
I think that person is a bad person, and I'm not going to say anything more about it. And I said I very much sympathize with you because it doesn't feel good to feel that way. However, I think you dodged a bullet. Anyway,
That's true.
Sounds
tell your
like it.
story.
So dark chocolate and dating. So it all started when I was 14, 15 maybe. Allegedly,
You know we only have 5 minutes for each story,
I know,
right?
it's a quick rule of 3. This
Okay,
is
okay.
all the 3 men that I've been interested since I've, like, really interested in. I've dated a bunch, but, like, the 3 dark chocolate men that I was really interested in and, like, you know, seeing what this was and dating and having them be my boyfriend, something just always went wrong. So the first one, he liked me. We matched on the League. Which I'm off of now. But I do recommend it. If you're going to do online dating, I do recommend the League out of anything. But I'm
Fancy.
just, huh?
Fancy.
I'm fancy.
Fancy.
So when I first met him, I thought he was really boring, and he was. And we kept in touch because I told him very honestly via text message, you know, I'm just not feeling it from that side from you, honestly. So I think we should just be friends. There's so much I can't say up on this stage right now, but let me just say that we ended up keeping in touch, and we kind of had a situationship, you know. And he, like, lives in Oakland, like, right by the lake as well, and
Air him out, damn.
I know, it's happening. You wanted honesty? Here we are. So I ended up connecting with another dark chocolate man who claims that I rejected him. Oh, I'm telling y'all everything. He claims that I just blocked him on, like, Instagram today, actually. I know, it was an emotional day. But it was, if you knew, I won't tell you that part, but if you heard it, you would totally side with me. It's way beyond anything that I want to talk about right now. But he said that I rejected him when we were 14 years old and at a Jack and Jill function. And apparently, I know, I was like, how do you remember
is
this right
fancy.
now? He was like, you came up to me to dance, or I thought you were, and he said I put his hand on his shoulder, and he put his hand on my waist, and as he was going to put his other hand on the other side of my waist, I said, have you seen my friend Claudia? Claudia's in the audience right there, actually, right there. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. And he was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. And I said, okay, well, have a good night. That's my line, by the way. If I tell you have a good night, it means goodbye. This is over. So we reconnected, and we dated for a lovely year. And after that year, he was like, I really like you, but I don't want to be your boyfriend. So you gotta let...
Mom is clapping.
Claps from mom.
Mom is very...
If I were my mom, I wouldn't be clapping right
She's
now,
doing
and here's
this.
why. Sorry, this is the last part
She's
of...
doing.
Let me tell you, this is your
Wow.
friend. This is your friend. So...
I love her even more now.
So my mom, after our last show, hyped me up and was like, you know who likes you? And she told me the name of this gentleman who is also a dark chocolate fellow that at the time that I was dating this guy that I just told you about, he was interested in me. But my heart just wasn't in it. I even gave him a chance, and I was like, I just am caught up in this other situation. I can't free myself. So then my mom was like, he likes you. He's so into you. You should see the way he looks at you. I was like, you're right, Mom. I'm going to go and get that. So I told him that I liked him, and we talked today, actually, and he has a girlfriend now. So that was awkward. And I was like, okay, well, you have your fun right now. Because this is like not, yeah, Mom, I meant to tell you this, and that happened this morning. It's okay. They don't even go to church together. So it's really, I literally told him, you have your fun right now. This is cute. I have a lot of confidence. But this is also the guy that Dara's like, I'm pretty sure you dodged a bullet. So, like, I feel sorry for you, but, like, not really. So
I genuinely feel sorry for you.
Because
But also...
Dark chocolate and
him.
dating,
To
ladies and
him,
gentlemen.
not
Good
to
topic,
her.
Maya. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to be talking to a lot more of you guys in the audience after this. So.
All right, let's go.
Next topic.
From Twitter. Woes?
I see a lot of curly
Like-
hair on this stage.
Where my woes?
What? Start. So
Can you
I
use
would
woes in a sentence, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sadness.
Not like
Whoa.
curly hair, like whoa.
Yeah. I thought it was
Oh, WHOA?
like, you know how that shit
Not like
goes.
Black Rob, whoa.
I'll say it's definitely.
You're going to do yours? You going to do this one?
I need
Talk
to do
about
this
it,
one.
girl.
You need to do it.
I'll definitely say it's white people touching my hair.
Oh, that is a whoa.
Sorry, white people, but
You know what you did.
you know what you did. It's almost like as bad as somebody looking at your naked body saying "nice tan."
Listen, people thinking they have entitlement to your body is a
Yeah.
real thing.
Like, or being like, "Can I touch your hair?" Like your hand's already in your hair.
Oh, already.
Can I touch it? And you're like doing the Matrix
Yeah,
on them.
they're already in there.
Do you have like a worst time that's happened
I
to
have
you?
a worse time. So I was in South Africa, in Johannesburg.
You gotta get that Instagram up. You gotta travel. I'm telling you, her Instagram is popping.
She's popping.
It's
I think
okay,
she's.
it's
So I
okay.
was in Johannesburg.
I was in Johannesburg on my travels.
Follow me on Instagram.
So we were at there is a Sunday market called Four-Way Market. And it was cool. It was like super beautiful. There's just people out. There's music, there's dancing, there's food, and there's white women who want to touch your hair. So I was
That's
standing.
a nice tableau. That's a nice tableau.
So I was standing, getting some. I think I was standing, eating food, and this woman walked by and straight up, grabbed my hair to the point where I was like, "What?" And my friend, so it happened so fast, and I was just like, turned around, and she was just like, "What?" And I'm like, first of all, she didn't acknowledge me. She didn't look me in the face. She didn't make eye contact. It was like I was an animal. And my friend Anwar was there. If you guys know Anwar, he's pretty lit. He was like, "Don't you ever touch her!" He went off. This lady was so scared. It's like she saw death. She was like, and she acted like she didn't know that was wrong, but he flashed on her so hard. And I appreciate, I think I just broke my belt. I just did a lot of movement there. But yeah, so that happened. I'm just gonna take this off. So that happened.
Yeah,
and
girl,
it was,
get
I mean, it was
comfortable.
just like I understand. Like sometimes I've had conversations with people, and they're like, you know, they do this, and it's just like I don't know. They don't realize that they're doing it. But the fact that she walked behind me and didn't even acknowledge me as a human, like I was just at a petting, like we were at a petting zoo.
This is for me.
Yeah, it was just
No,
gross.
Susan, it's not.
Yeah, it made me feel so gross and violated, and just the fact that she was just like, what? Like, you live in South Africa, bro. Like, you really do not have any sense of
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Wow.
It was interesting, but
That
it's horrible.
is
Please,
horrible.
white people in the audience, don't.
Don't
It is,
ever.
Stop
it's
it.
magnetic. Like it
Don't.
does.
Yeah, you see the arm slowly, like.
Yeah. And then your hair is like a little bit purpley sometimes, and that's very like when
Yeah,
I
had
had
like just dyed my hair too,
and it looked
and
fantastic.
so I was like, wow. This
But
is
like, why would you touch it? And like,
And she like had a full. It was like a full grab.
Courtney's
like
going through it right now. She's like, I just don't understand.
I have a
why.
whole theory about why that happens, but it has everything to do with the culture. Like it happens in South Africa because apartheid,
Yeah.
and it happens in America because slavery.
Slavery.
And like
Yeah.
that's a part of the culture that
Like
until
not
you
being able to own your own
This
body.
is mine. Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
mine.
belong
And
to
being
everybody else.
accustomed-
Yeah.
being accustomed to having full rights to someone else's body, and if you never acknowledge that that was a part of your culture and your family, then you don't know what's happening when you reach out in front and you're like,
Yeah.
I can touch you, or I can look at your naked body and think it's a nice tan. Like it's nothing. It's weird.
Yeah.
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 That's
So
weird.
sometimes I'll just like pretend like I'm touching the back, and they always do that, and I'm like, see how it feels.
I do that too.
Okay.
I do that too.
Actually, I know we're like, but I'm gonna tell my story about this also because it.
Hi. We all have these
I
stories.
love hair
Yeah.
Everyone
stories.
on this
This
stage
is a
has
good
this
topic.
story.
I had, I usually have a whole lot of hair, and I'm used to like, wow, your hair grew really long.
Did you cut it?
Like, are you stupid? Like, I'm sorry, but like, are you actually stupid?
Overnight.
My hair was this big, and now it's this long, and it's a different color and texture and everything. How?
And girls like that have seen Britney Spears.
It's that black
in
girl
action.
magic.
It's that black girl magic.
Literally,
Black girl
and they're
magic.
so
Seen
confused.
extensions.
Because white people get extensions too.
That's what I'm saying. Britney Spears is the extension queen in my mind. I'm like, you understand when she had long hair in a video and now it's short when you see her like with her sweatpants and her Uggs. So why?
I don't understand, but that I'm used
They
to.
understand.
Every time I change my hair, I know it's gonna have to be a conversation, and it's annoying, but I'm used to it. What did happen was I was standing in a cafe when I was still at Google. I guess I'm supposed to be doing like the corporation that will not be named, but fuck them. Their products are fine. I'm just saying I don't care. Like that's where it happened. That's who it was. This young lady had just joined our team, and she came up to me in a cafe, and she tapped me on the back, and I was like, startled, like a person would be when somebody like touches you at work, because it's work, and you're not to touch each other at work. Especially without permission. And I turned around and she was like, oh, you're one of those people who doesn't like to have your hair touched?
That's next level.
Now let's unpack this a little bit, okay?
Let's talk about it.
Because not only did she do it, because I wasn't even thinking she was touching my hair. I was just startled because I'm a human being and I'm extremely anxious, and working at Google was very traumatic for me, so I was like a little on edge all the time because shit like this would happen.
Yes.
And so that's the first thing. She just assumed it was that. The second thing is some poor black girl has already obviously had this conversation with her. Somebody else has like performed the emotional labor of letting this girl know you're not to touch people who don't belong to you. And it's 2016, so people don't belong to you anymore.
Oh my God.
Right? And full disclosure, like I was moments away from quitting my job, and this incident was obvious evidence that I really needed to get out of there, because my immediate reaction was to grab her ponytail and say, I think we're all that kind of people. Don't clap for that. That shit'll get you fired. That's a bad move on my part. But I was so, it was so visceral for me. And she was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. But you know what, Dara, I totally get it because like, I know you're like the only black girl around and like, I'm coming from Texas. I thought I was moving to California, so I dyed my hair like a lighter blonde.
No.
And look around here, there are no other blondes. So like, I totally get it. And I was like, do you think I dyed my skin this color? Or she thought she was a minority because she was
the only blonde.
She wasn't the only blonde.
Of course,
But she was a lighter shade of blonde. And that made all the difference. Yeah, those people were a lot. And I was like, I have to get out before someone asks me to get out. And that's pretty much what my Google experience was like. Except there are some Googlers here who I love and they were wonderful. Hi, Alex.
I feel we should all get an Anwar. We should all get an Anwar. Like we should just be issued one. And
girl, I'm trying to find
like
it's like the anger. It's like the anger translator.
It's like having a Luther. It's like having a hair Luther.
Girl, I'm saying, I'm trying to find one. This is awful.
Damn. Wow.
Should we do one more set of?
And Carla, it's probably gonna go to you, to be honest.
It's definitely gonna go to you.
I'm ready.
Union Square, San Francisco.
Take it away.
Oh my God.
Union Square, San Francisco.
It could.
A bad experience you've had in it.
Yeah. Union Square, San Francisco.
Can I see?
I'm like going to work every day.
I have a super quick one while you think.
Yeah, go for
the first
it.
time I came to San Francisco to look for housings, a man in Union Square asked me if he could videotape my feet. Go on.
Good, quick story.
Actually, Union Square, San Francisco is the only time a black man has ever told me nice tan. But he was crazy. So I mean, it was like he was crazy. I don't know. I feel like I want to go back to dating in dark chocolate a little bit.
Go for it, girl.
Yeah, my first love was a dark chocolate man around 14 or 15. Same. But I'm not going to tell that story because my mom's here.
Wait, isn't your mother, she created you with a black man, so shouldn't she be okay?
She did. Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's just I was like 15 years old. Like,
Wait a minute. Like mother, like daughter?
Oh my God.
You can't edit me. There's no edit button.
But here's
Dara's freaking out.
here's a weird riff. So my husband is Korean, and a thing about him is when I first met him, we met at work, and I was sort of like. I was like, he's really cute, but I was like, I've had experience dating Korean men before, and I was like, how's this gonna go? But I sort of like, I noticed him, and I was like, I feel like this could happen because he was wearing Air Force Ones. And I was like, you're one of those Koreans. And he is, because he's like,
Oh my God.
he's like, you know, in touch, but like knows how to stay in his lane because he doesn't try to like break dance or rap or like anything like that. And he knows that like that's my lane. But a funny thing
That's
about
your
him,
lane.
and I'm going like way, yeah. He actually admitted at our wedding that I am a better rapper than he is, which like everyone was like, we're not surprised, but like I was like, I win. But a funny thing about him is that I will come home and catch him watching blacker movies than I watch. So like,
What are blacker movies?
Yes, but I'll come home and he'll be watching like Barbershop 2, and I'm like, I haven't even seen Barbershop 2. So like, what are you doing? Like,
He's
you
just
know,
on the
like,
pulse.
it's always the sequels too, and I'm like, you
That's
took
dedication.
the time
He's dedicated.
/
That's
snuck to
dedication.
watch this when I left because you knew that like I
love
wasn't
it.
gonna make the time. But anyway, yeah, I don't know why that made me think of that, but yeah, dating in dark chocolate, a Korean man in Air Force Ones. That's my weird association in my head. I told you I was weird.
I
Fair.
love
That's where
that.
I'm at.
Power
right.
to the weirdos.
That was story time, you all. That's it.
Thank you.
Aww.
Thank you, both Carla and Ashleigh, for being our guests. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Pianofight for hosting us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Follow everybody. All the stuff's up there. We're at NBT, the show. Does anybody have anything specific that they want to plug?
I do want to plug our next show on April 28th.
Hey.
It'll probably be out in that space. We got bumped into here, and we were like, Rob, it's fine. You put us in the main stage. It's really okay. Yeah, it's okay.
You can follow me at Dara M. Wilson. I am doing this show on the 28th. I'm also doing another show at Stageworks on the 28th later that evening, and one on the 29th. So if you want to keep up with those things.
Dara's working, y'all. Y'all better keep up. Better keep up.
If you want to keep up those things, follow me at Dara M. Wilson on all the stuff.
Exactly. And then we have a new episode coming out this week. Yesterday, Dara and I interviewed the soon-to-be mayor of San Francisco, London Breed. Yay! She's so cool, you guys. If you're registered,
we had a lot of fun.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
If you're registered to vote in San Francisco, we highly encourage you to look into her more and then vote for her. Yep. And then follow these ladies. At Stay Ready, at Nice Tan Comedy.
Yep.
And thank you all for coming again. That's it. That's the show. Aw.
Thank you guys for doing what you do. Seriously, we love
for
you.
inviting us.
Yay.
Savvy. You're a savvy. We just doing it. We just doing it. I can't.
We're going to break down here and be out there. So if you want to mingle, come say hi.
No,
Or
like,
not,
hang
Jesus.
out with us.
Or not.
No pressure or anything.
I know.